Hello, and welcome back to What We Pod in the Shadows, where we are currently discussing season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
This week we are discussing the episode The Casino. But before we get into our discussion, just a reminder to hit the follow/subscribe buttons, depending on what platform you're on. And of course, leave us a review or a comment if you haven't already. It would really help push out the podcast so that more people can see it and interact with it and listen to it.
And don't miss our other podcast, Mojo Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, where we are discussing the classic Powerpuff Girls and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And we're currently on season 3 of the Powerpuff Girls.
Sometimes we talk about vampires on there too. So if you want to hear more of that, you want to hear more of us, that's a good place to go listen.
Okay, this is season 3, episode 4, The Casino. Our vampires are taking a group trip for Sean and Charmaine's anniversary to Atlantic City. For them to travel, they have to bring soil from their homeland or they don't have powers or can't sleep. They scoop some of that soil from their coffins into little bags. Cue the You're Dead montage, but with Atlantic City clips. They leave Guillermo to get their luggage. Nadja actually brought what looks like a stuffed pheasant on the trip. Guillermo has to sleep on a cot. Nandor tries to tip with a feather from a female crow. Colin, Nandor, and Guillermo are together with Nadja and Laszlo in an adjoining room. At dinner, the vamps pretend to eat and drink while Sean toasts Charmaine and mentions there are 11 people there and the parallels to Ocean's 11.
Someone falls out of their seat and breaks their plate and or their glass, and Laszlo and Nadja make Guillermo get a broom even though he's on vacation with them. Guillermo says the transition between being familiar to bodyguard has been about the same. When Guillermo's gone, Nandor encourages Laszlo, Nadja, and Colin to be nicer to Guillermo. When he gets back, they ask Guillermo if he has any interests, but interrupt him before he can say what they are. They ask Guillermo about his love life, but Guillermo's very private because of his upbringing. They finally encourage him to say something, but he is interrupted by Sean bringing over the server to clean up, and the moment is ruined. Charmaine takes Nadja and some of her friends to see a Rat Pack tribute band, and Nadja is excited because she used to be friends with the real Rat Pack back in the day, but doesn't realize that they're just a cover band and tries to get her friends' attention. Colin Robinson plays blackjack, but delays his turn by talking about a boxing match to drain the other players' energy.
Nandor is at the slot machines playing one that is Big Bang Theory themed. Nadja goes backstage with the Rat Pack as Colin puts the other card players in the dealer to sleep. Guillermo is worried about getting them back to their rooms before sunrise because they don't want to leave the fun. Nandor acts like a toddler about leaving. You can't make me. They're unable to sleep, however, and notice that their ancestral soil is missing.
Yeah, and I liked when Nandor said that Bazinga was Sheldon's war cry.
Yeah. He seemed to know a bit about the Big Bang Theory, so I guess that's why he chose it.
I guess, yeah. So they all freak out because the soil is gone. Laszlo attempts to turn into a bat, but can only manage becoming a sparrow. They send Guillermo off to Europe and the Middle East via airplane to get dirt from their homelands. Laszlo asks Sean to borrow his credit card and not tell him why, but because they're such good friends, Sean agrees with little hesitation. Guillermo says he knows that collecting dirt is shit work, but he's never been to Europe. The vampires attend Sean and Charmaine's vow renewal, but Nadja cannot stay upright for the ceremony, and Laszlo keeps burning. Nandor says it's been weeks since they've had even a moment's slumber, but Colin says it's only been about 14 hours.
Guillermo arrives in London to get British soil. Laszlo is sweating, charging $7,539 to Sean's credit card. Laszlo goes to talk to Sean, who confesses he's lost all his money, even though he promised Charmaine he'd be good. He used to have a gambling problem. Nadja hits up the Rat Pack for money, but they only have $300 on them. Guillermo makes it to Greece. Colin tries to explain the Big Bang Theory to Nandor, like the actual theory, not the show. Writing all over the walls, and his mind is blown. For 750 years, Nandor thought the earth was held up by 4 elephants who stood on a turtle.
He has a bit of an existential crisis upon learning that the universe is vast and likely infinite. Guillermo successfully collects dirt from the southern Iranian border for Nandor. Nandor sadly sits on the rooftop because the universe is so vast and he doesn't even have a girlfriend. Even Sheldon has a girlfriend. Guillermo gets back to the hotel room, which is trashed. Laszlo is sad because he's caused Sean to lose all his money and possibly his wife. Nadja because she thinks the Rat Pack have fallen on hard times. Nandor because now he wonders what the point of anything is. And Colin because they won't let him watch his casino TV show with the sound up. Guillermo gives them their dirt so they can sleep and devises an elaborate plan to get Sean his money back whilst they are sleeping.
So I guess it's kind of like an Ocean's 11 type thing. It's been a while since I watched one of those movies.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were getting at. They will attend the boxing match. Nandor is to meet Eli Jackson in the elevator and hypnotize him, while Laszlo does the same with Arturo Rodriguez, while Colin places a bet. At round 6, Nadja yells out, "Ain't that a kick in the head?" And Jackson boxes Rodriguez's head right off. So I'm not sure if that's what they bet. Is that like one would kill the other? Or... Because I don't think you could bet that like you pop somebody's head off.
No.
Colin collects the tons of money in a round case, and they take the money to Sean up the possessed, according to Nadja, escalator. They happily present it to Sean, who says he will never do it again, then promptly wages it all on roulette, just as a disgusted Charmaine walks up. At the end, the vamps give Guillermo a paper doily that says, "You are a very good familiar," with familiar crossed out and bodyguard written below. Probably they should have just given Sean the money back.
Yeah.
And not all of it. Or like maybe double, because they were needing some other money, I think.
Yeah, I think he like bet money that they were going to use to like fix their deck and like maybe some other stuff too.
I think to pay for the trip.
Yeah.
So maybe just that amount? I don't know.
I was just like, of course he immediately goes and bets it.
Yeah. Because it's like the vampires themselves never have money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did Sean pay for their part of the trip?
Guess we'll never know.
And then the ancestral soil thing, Colin was in the room. It kind of appeared like, it's like they stuck the soil under the mattress, like between the mattress and box springs. And I think the cleaning lady maybe vacuumed it, but he didn't realize that's what was happening.
Yeah, because he was really busy watching his casino show.
So I don't know. The ancestral soil thing is kind of confusing for me, because I thought they still had, like, that they just took part of what they had at home.
Yeah.
Not all of it. So I'm just thinking it would have been way cheaper to just send Guillermo back to the house.
Absolutely, yeah.
Probably could have just happened on a taxi.
Yeah.
In a taxi.
Yeah, or he could have taken a bus or something.
But then I was also thinking, if it was just in a vacuum cleaner, could they not have tracked down, like, the vacuum?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it really depends on how big the hotel is and how much dirt had already been vacuumed up and the cleaning lady, dumped it out already. But they still could have, like, tried to locate it.
But it was, like, technically still in the building, so I'm just sort of confused about that. I mean, I'm assuming, or I guess it could have been, like, out in the dumpsters, but
yeah,
it just happened. And, like, okay, when Laszlo ran off to be, what was he, something Daytona?
Jackie Daytona.
What, did he take his ancestral soil with him?
Probably not, unless he had some stored in that little hotel room with his Jackie Daytona disguise.
So I'm just, I'm glad that they did pay Sean back.
Yeah.
I don't know if we saw, like, did he win that bet, or I'm saying it's probably not good odds that he won it.
Probably not. And then, like, when they were giving Guillermo the doily and stuff, she seemed like she was, like, pretty pissed at him. So either she was pissed because she saw him gambling or because he lost, or both.
Yeah.
It It was fun to see the vampires basically like try to do normal human stuff. Of course, with the vampire twist of them not being able to sleep or anything because they didn't have their dirt. It was fun to see them like they would interact like a casino and everything. and Nadja not understanding that those weren't the real Rat Pack because they're like, I'm assuming they're all dead.
I think they all are now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they didn't. The one guy was Asian.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to be the Frank Sinatra. So
Yeah.
it's like, how? Like, I could see if they look. Sometimes, like when you have like the Elvis entertainer, they try real hard to look like Elvis, but these guys were just like in suits and they didn't look like them at all.
No. And they just kept saying ring-a-ding-ding or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was kind of funny. I mean, there was other couples on the trip with them, and they had to kind of like pretend to eat and drink, and like Nadja had a good time with the fake Rat Pack and the gambling, and then even the renewal ceremony. I don't know. They kept saying it was taking a long time, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they were just like all sleep deprived, so it might have just been like 20 minutes and then just dying.
I don't know, there was a lot happening in this. Like, the whole Big Bang Theory being explained to Nandor could probably have been part of another episode and maybe explored a little bit more. It does kind of seem to be his theme where he's like, I'm all alone, and like for him to find someone. I guess probably going for an anniversary trip probably gave him those feelings too.
Yeah. I just know the hotel staff's going to be pissed when they see all the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
I just find it funny that they have like connections to both Elvis and the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Like, who else from that time period did they know? That could be like a fun like fanfic to write or read.
They kind of act like they're like the other vampires they encounter, like they're small time vampires or they're not very important, but then sometimes they have those flashbacks where it's like, oh yeah, we knew Elvis and we knew Frank Sinatra, and I'm like what happened?
Yeah. I guess it was nice they gave Guillermo a doily. I know it's not. I know it's kind of a shitty present, but like that they were trying to be nice. At least, like, thank you for doing this shit for us.
They like we don't really see a whole lot like with friends, even like with when they were with the Baron. They tried to set him up something nice, but it wasn't that nice.
Yeah.
But Laszlo's always like crazy about Sean. So I mean, if they would just give a little bit of that energy to Guillermo, like giving him a nicer bedroom and like food and stuff, like
seems like they sort of know how to be nice to other humans, just maybe not Guillermo for some reason. I guess maybe they think he's beneath them because he's just a familiar.
But he does so much.
Absolutely.
Guillermo did seem to enjoy the trip, even though he was basically just running off the plane, grabbing dirt, and then getting back on the plane.
Yeah.
And then I guess I was gonna say too, like, because of the ancestral soil thing, I guess it sort of makes sense why they don't maybe even leave home very often.
Yeah. Still, I need like a bigger stash of that shit so that they can go other places if they feel like it.
I mean, it's kind of like too late now, but I wonder if you could just like, yes, I'd like a bucket of soil from Britain. I would like a bucket of soil from Greece, if you can, if that's like possible. And then you would have to hope that that's really what it is. You have to trust the seller.
Yeah, you don't want any fake Grecian dirt. So I think we are ending our discussion here. Thank you all so much for listening. And again, if you could subscribe/follow, give us a comment or review or a like or whatever if you're listening on YouTube. Just whatever platform you're listening to this on, just try to press all those buttons for us. So until next time, you're dead and out of this world. Goodbye.
Goodbye.